I'm your baritone bro host, Godswill, and you're listening to That's Dope, the podcast where we talk about dope things. Whether it's nerdy stuff from video games, anime, movie, TV, board games, whatever, to cool events that are happening in the area, having great interviews with great people, and whatever other dope things that are in the world or that you might suggest, we talk about here, and you know it's going to be a great time. So join us for the show. I got two special guests with me. You got the everlasting Josh.
I'm always a special guest.
Well,
it's like having your grandma stay over and being like, well, she's a guest, but she's been there for 2 years.
You are regular. And then we have our special guest, my friend Ka.
That's right.
Yeah.
Howdy, y'all.
There we go. Yeah, and today we're going to be talking about martial arts and kung fu stuff. What got me into this was I've been listening to a lot of Wu-Tang Clan lately, and I was like, where'd they get their name? So I did some research into that. I was reading a book made by the RZA. He was talking about his influences. So it was really good. And then he was talking about this movie 36 Chambers, because also that's the album I've listened to, Enter 36 Chambers. And I watched the 36 Chambers thanks to a coworker who had it on Blu-ray. It was just we gotta talk about this. We gotta. Yeah. And then it was like, why not get two of my best martial art buddies? So I guess Josh and Kyle, why don't you tell how long you've been fighting? What do you do?
So I've been fighting for a pretty long time. Originally, my dad was teaching me everything when I was younger. As I got older, I started going to the gym, an actual MMA gym. Yeah, as soon as I left high school, I knew what I wanted to do. I was like, football sucks. You know what I mean? It wasn't about going for anything like that. So I went and started doing the MMA thing. Learned a lot of jiu-jitsu at my first gym. Moved on to the next gym. Learned a whole bunch of Muay Thai and boxing. Had my own specific boxing training at that point. It was really fun. It's just learning all the styles specifically, individually, instead of learning them as a clump. Mm-hmm. I feel like that made me a lot better. And I just kind of know that's what I want to do. Mm-hmm. You know how people say you never work a day of your life if you're doing what makes you happy?
Yeah.
To me, it's instead of doing this 9 to 5 every day for the rest of my life and being chained down to this, as soon as you stop working, you go broke. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be chained to that. So I fight, and hopefully I want to make this my everything to where I don't feel like I got these chains on. I can just do what I want.
There we go.
So it's a release for me.
There we go. That's what's up. And then how about you, Kyle? What's your background in martial arts and fighting?
My martial arts style is Kung Fu. The style is called Mahjong Longhorn, so it translates from Chinese into long fist style. So you're throwing a lot of straight back fists, a lot of straight punch, and a lot of overhand hits and underhand hits, but your arms kind of straighten out a little bit more. Been doing that for 8 years, basically. Wow. I also dabbled a little bit in other martial art. I did jiu-jitsu also for about 1 year, but then I kind of stopped because of classwork and whatnot. Mm-hmm. I picked it up because my dad decided, hey, you need some kind of form of discipline. And anyways, I started in 2nd grade, basically, and from that point on, I started to learn what it means to actually focus on a goal and such, and I aim to be number 1 in class all the time.
That's what's up. And honestly, I'm the baby of the group. When it comes to fighting, I've been doing karate, Shotokan karate for 3 years, but
Shotokan, not Setokan.
Shotokan, yeah. Shotokan. And then started recently doing boxing with Josh, and hoping to keep doing that.
You got pretty good.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So I wanted to get into this movie, and then I guess just sort of talk about you guys, your own fighting mantras or whatever. So, although you watched the wrong movie, but
yeah, dude.
You watched apparently the sequel to this. I didn't even know this one had a sequel.
Oh yeah.
But so 36 Chambers is this movie's from the 60s, 70s, and definitely looks old, but it holds true, honestly. And let me ask you, Kyle, since we watched the movie together, what did you think about this movie?
It was quite an entertaining movie. It was about growth, and then while you see them grow, you actually got to see them use what they learned along the way into the futures. Like the eyes, he understands how to focus on things just with his eyes and just being conscious about the environment. And eventually he got into a fight again, and he was able to spot out 7 soldiers at the same time and just kind of fight all of them at once because of that skills.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I felt like this was the precursor to the Karate Kid in a way, because this one guy, he wants to learn how to fight, wants to get revenge, so he's like, hey, you monks, you Shaolin monks, teach me how to do martial arts. They're like, you can't do that. You need to go through the 36 chambers in order to learn martial arts. It's like the Karate Kid, because at first he's doing all these menial tasks, he's like, oh, you gotta cross these logs without falling to the water, or you have to carry a bucket of water up a hill, and you can't drop anything, it's hard tasks, and he has to do this for his Shaolin monastery for 5 to 7 years or so. You're thinking oh, what's the point, he's doing all these stupid things, but then at the end of it, all these things come together and has made him like a great fighter, you know? It's a good story because you enjoy the growth, you know? Like, you see how hard he works to become a good fighter, you know? And I feel like it still held up. It was very entertaining, like, as a movie today, you know? Like, even though it is from the 60s, 70s, and, you know, we got, like, a ton of movies today that are flashy, have a lot of graphics. This one was just straight up, do the discipline, do the stuff. And apparently even this actor, like, got hurt doing a lot of this stuff because he was doing his own stunts, like, the whole time.
Wow.
Like, you know, falling down or getting stabbed.
That's a stunt now. Getting stabbed is a stunt.
Pretty much. I mean, like even like with these heavy rings, like he got hurt, like I think doing them, but and his body was so broken at the end of it, but like he got stronger too, like literally. So yeah, like I thought it was a good movie.
In general, like if I were to rate it, I'd definitely put it as a 5-star movie for sure.
Cool.
Like I'd love it for people to check out this movie if they have the chance. It's on Netflix, correct?
Hopefully. What about the movie that you watched?
Oh, my movie. I went home to watch 36 Chambers because he told me to watch it and, like, you know, enjoy it. I found a movie called 36 Chambers, The Final Fight or something, which was, I guess, some kind of continuation of this movie. Mm-hmm. It was still very old. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. I was actually watching with my friend Jerome. As far as being a classic martial arts movie, I've never been a big fan of those. My parents have loved them since I was young. Like, they'd always be like, "Oh, let's watch the Chinese movie." You know what I mean? Like, yeah, everyone was Chinese. I don't know. But
although this one they are Chinese, but like, but yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it was just like I watched it and I did admire the styles because they do stay true to very rigid styles of what they do. Yeah. So that was interesting to me. But I mean, as far as being entertained, I couldn't say. Maybe I did watch just the completely wrong movie to start with.
Okay, no, I mean that's totally cool. Were there any other movies, I guess, that you guys enjoy, like any other martial arts movies that like inspired you like into fighting, or maybe like any other shows, movies, whatever, you know? Like what got you guys, like what kept your passion up, I guess?
Why did you keep fighting and training and such?
Oh no, like first like I guess like any other movies and stuff, and then that.
Yeah, man. I know for me, something that really was cool when I was younger. Me and my brother can he can definitely like vouch for this. We always used to fight in the house just for fun. Like we used to just mess around, and we always did Batman and Robin stuff.
Really?
Like we just loved the idea of like crime fighting. Like we could beat people up. And we thought we were so cool, you know. We couldn't really do anything, but we were just all about that. And as we got older, we realized we couldn't do Batman and Robin. That doesn't make sense. So yeah, no one paid.
Black.
Yeah, no one pays for those guys. Like, you know what I mean? So I wanted to do something, and I just remember as I got older, that kind of rotated over to Toonami and like Dragon Ball Z, which is like, whoa, these guys are also fighting, but it's like even more fight scenes. You know what I mean? It was just like, and it just became this like weird thing where it's just like, I really liked the idea of fighting. Didn't understand why specifically when I was growing up, but I really liked it. And eventually, the UFC came to be a bigger thing. Like, it was already growing, but it became bigger. It started coming on Spike TV. And that's when I was like, wow, this is a career. Like, I can do this. Like, everything else in my life had stopped. It was like, forget everything. No disrespect to college, but I was like, I left like my first year of college, and I was like, I kind of know what I want to do. And everything, I'm like, I don't know, that's...
I feel like that's legit.
A little bit of anime, a little bit of Western culture, a little bit of, you know...
That's pretty cool. I feel like for me, it's all been just anime, I think, that like really inspired my fighting. Definitely like Dragon Ball Z, like got me into that for sure.
Honestly, you're a lot of fighters in the UFC right now. Really,
yeah,
a lot of anime.
Yeah, and then like anime, like I guess like in general, like has really got me into it. Like for example, Hunter x Hunter. That one like really like made me thirst to like become a better fighter. Like I was just like I gotta get stronger. I gotta start working on this stuff. Yeah,
you're correct in the sense it's like a lot of Western culture TV shows, they don't really have fighting. If there's no actual like fighting, like here's the first thing: Western culture shows don't very often have a serious plot. It's more like episode goes in the next episode. Like, Hey Arnold, was there really a plot as much as there was like you know the characters after a while and you're watching a day by day thing? Yeah. Compared to like when you watch an anime, it's like this continues. The story continues, and you want to see these fights play out and who's strong, who trains the hardest, and that when that appeals to you, it's like it just takes it to the next step. Like whether you want to do it yourself, like do you want to be that? And I mean that's just I think it's amazing. So it's not even just anime; it's just the fact that that's what shows fighting. You know what I mean? What do we have? Teen Titans and Samurai Jack. Like, that was about all Western culture brought us. Powerpuff Girls, you call those fight scenes? Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, and then also I guess like for movies that I can remember like that got me wanting to like fight better. I remember watching The Raid Redemption.
That was a really good one.
Yeah, like I was like, man, could I survive if I was in that situation? Could I take on like a guy that's coming at me with a machete? Just take him on, and then like I remember like Ong Bak, that was like really cool.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh that dude, I forgot his actual name.
Like then like Tony Jaa.
Tony Jaa.
Yeah.
Ooh, I can't believe I forgot. That man is a Muay Thai god.
Mm-hmm.
That boy is sick. Ong Bak, and he had what was it? The Protector.
Yeah, I didn't see The Protector, but like I heard about
That movie is cold.
Yeah. Also, I really like Ip Man. Ip Man like really got
Ip
me.
Man, yeah.
Like after the 10 black belts. Ugh. I'll have to link to that. Like that was like the scene for me. How about you, Kyle?
For me, when it comes to movie, I start off like what my parents watched, and they saw Bruce Lee movies initially. That's all that we saw. So we start off with Enter the Dragon, you know, a classic one where we got a mix of like Western fighting a little bit, but mainly like the main character is still Bruce Lee. So you get to see him do the nunchucks, and so we're like, oh, that's cool. And then after that, we just went back further into the past, so we got Chinese Connection, Fist of Fury. After we watched some of that, my dad just like, oh, this is really cool. And my dad had Taekwondo experience prior to this, so he knew like how fast they were kicking. And I believe they actually had to record some of the fight scenes with like fast recording cameras because like Bruce Lee, when he kicked, he didn't kick for fakes, you know, he kicked fast for real, and so it wasn't fast enough to see on camera. In fact, it just disappeared when he kicked, so they had to record it with
I was watching
camera.
like Chuck Norris Bruce Lee fight right before this, and like they slow-moed it all, and it still looked really quick. Actually, I was just like, dang, this is. And also, little known fact, Ka got me some nunchucks 2 years ago or so.
That's been a while.
Yeah, and I kept hitting myself in the back of the head with them. They are hard to use.
I'm actually working on those.
Really?
That's like the only like weapon proficiency I have, really.
Oh wow.
Nunchucks is the one I can like legitimately use now. And
Like,
that's weird to say. 'Cause I used to make fun of people with nunchucks, and I was like, these things really hurt.
Yeah,
Like,
right. Yeah, right. Like just
not
hit yourself
easy.
in the back of the head enough, and oof. Yeah, but that's cool. That's cool. And then, how is your passion nowadays? Like, is it still there or?
My passion nowadays. Nowadays, not so much, but the discipline is still there. So once in a while, I'll just try to like look back at some forms again, or just simply just do some of the simple basic training, the fundamentals. I don't really care too much for like pulling off a cyclonic kick or 540 kick as much anymore.
No
air.
tricking, but like the stuff that works.
And, so back to the basics: horse stand, bow stand, low stands, you know, twist.
Okay.
All those things, just so that I know I still have some of like balance and stuff. Too many people focusing tricky stuff.
No, I dig it.
It's flashy. It's pretty. I can say for sure, but it's
That's how you sell.
Really.
That's how martial arts is a lot in America. It's like, how can you sell it? Because people don't understand it, so you can use that to be like, yo, we're gonna do all these tricks in front of these people, and that's what you can learn too. And you get there and they're like horse stands. You know what I mean? Like stand like this.
Yeah, they keep you hooked too. I mean, once you do your belt test, they're not gonna deny you your belt. Of course, they're gonna give you the belt. They want you to stay.
That's the big thing with a lot of dojos today. Like it's like you'll get your black belt off of attendance. Like, oh, you showed up all this year, man. You're due for like your purple belt right now. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like it's not as much like how it used to be, where it's like it would take you like 2 years to get this belt, or a year to get this belt.
Honestly, that's what happens in my class. Where it's like, honestly, like I've gotten denied for getting a belt. You know, like I was like, you can't take this test, or because you're not yet ready for this, or you need to keep working on this, and then you try your test again. You know, and I like it also because they don't like charge money until you go to your next belt. You know, like I feel like also they work with you, but I know what you mean. Like I feel like a lot of people are just there for the instant gratification.
Yeah, and I'm not going to disrespect any MMA artists. Like a lot of times, like the traditional arts will disrespect the MMA artists because it's like, well, you learn 4 different styles in a clump, like so you know nothing really of like the basics. And I can honestly say, like, some of them really don't. I really just got lucky. I got lucky to have learned all my styles individually. But it's just like, a lot of guys, they do just join it. Like, you'll see guys come in MMA classes all the time. They'll just come in 19, 18. He'll come in and he'll be like, you know, like, I want to do whatever. And he's going to go in there, he's going to talk that mess, he's going to get tapped out a couple times, and you won't see him after about 2 weeks. Yeah, he'll just quit because it's just like, you weren't really about fighting. You were about trying to be cool or whatever.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Like, that's not what martial arts is about. And it kind of weeds you out real fast.
Yeah.
Now, at the same time, on the flip side of that, because MMA is such a free-form style of, like, you kick how kind of you want to kick, and you do this how you kind of want to do this, a lot of guys will get away with, like, you'll go to a seminar over the weekend, you'll all of a sudden be an MMA instructor, You'll go to one seminar and have like an MMA instructor like badge, like I can do this.
Oh wow.
And then you open up a dojo and people just flock because there's an MMA guy in Allen now, and he does whatever. He's just like completely bullshitting people. Like here's the triangle, here's the armbar, here's you know what I mean. Like he doesn't really know it, but he knows it just enough
to sound legit enough.
Yeah. So martial arts is getting watered down. I mean, when you do find a good gym, like someone like I guess like what you're saying, like someone who actually denies you, like yo man, you know what? I can't let you go on because you'll be a joke.
Yeah, I mean honestly, I mean that's the truth, and like definitely I don't want to like look bad. Definitely a lot of people don't have that sort of discipline nowadays in a way.
Right.
But that's my feeling. But anyways, let me start with you. Like why? Do you fight, or why do you, I guess, like, feel the need to, like, learn or keep at it or whatever,
Initially, like, I'm not gonna lie, I was one of those kids who come in thinking, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be one of those flashy kicking people. I'm not gonna lie, everybody comes in with that mentality.
Yeah.
But then after 4 years, then you're gonna be like, I'm tired of doing martial arts. It's a make and break. It's the first year if you're gonna stay or not. Second year, stay or not. Then the fourth year if you're going to stay or not. And then after that, the 8th year. And I quit after the 8th year because I left the country. But the gist is that at the 4th year, you know all the things you need to know to train. Now it's up to you to decide like how much further you want to pursue this now because it's going to be old. It's going to be repetitive. So now it feels like nothing's new anymore. That's the tough part. I mean, I personally was still into martial art because I love seeing myself being able to teach, for example, and I also want to see myself better than that person because I'm like, I can't believe that guy's better than me. How can he do a side kick that good still, but be that rank or something like that. I mean, as a term of year.
I hear you with that. Okay, that's a pretty good point. Like, I guess for me, my personal reason is like I want to be able to like better myself. Like, I feel like my potential is like there, like, and like I want to reach that potential somehow. Two, it's like I was never like into like what you were saying before, like football. Like that wasn't my thing. Basketball sort of was my thing, but whatever.
That's what's always gonna be a thing on the side, isn't it?
All right, yeah.
It's always like a love, but it's just like I can't marry you.
Yeah, right. For me, it was a like I would screw around with it, and it's like you jam my fingers again, like or I can't shoot the ball straight. Whatever, I don't need this. But like martial arts and dancing were my passions, and so it was like that's my exercise, and that's something I hope to do later on. But then also, I guess the main reason I want to do it is because like if I ever get into that situation, like someone wants to be aggressive towards me, I want to be able to defend myself, but also be able to defend others, like. I want to be able to back up my morals, like be able to hold strong, like
be your own independent.
Exactly,
it's a nice state of mind.
Yeah, it's like I don't want to have to rely on someone else to defend me. I want to be able to defend myself and then be able to defend others. Like that's what I'm thinking.
I do.
Your own. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I do really recommend people who lack self-confidence, the people who usually get picked on. Yeah, definitely pick up martial art. It will boost your self-esteem.
Exactly.
Like, when I was in middle school, people picked on me once, and then one day it was the time when it's like, okay, y'all going too far. I'm like, I don't mind you teasing me, like, hey, shorty. I'm like, yeah, it was okay. And then one day they're like, all right, let's trash can that kid. Anyways, first time someone grabbed my wrist, I kind of did the...
like a wrist lock?
Anyways, the second time around they came in for the trash can. This time someone had trash can. Went in for a side kick, and then after that, I was like, I went for a side kick. I knocked the guy out. I mean, I didn't realize, like, training for so long, you'd actually be able to have that capability. And so... That's actually sort of empowering.
That's what's up.
But that's the reason is I really would like other people, especially kids, to pick it up. Just in general, to know they're confident in themselves.
Yeah. Okay. And I guess how about you, man? Like I want to save you for last. It's like
what was the question?
I guess like what's your reason for fighting? Like what keeps you going? What's like what do you imagine yourself? What's the reason for fighting?
Oh man. Okay. So fighting is like a release to me. So when I take it seriously to the point where it's just like what I do for a living is I teach kids martial arts. So throughout the whole day, my mind is triggered for about 6 hours, 7 hours a day on repetition of these moves over and over and teaching them these hey, repetition's worth it, you need to do this, and teaching them different ways of morality and things like that through fighting. Right after I leave work, I run right to the gym because my gym class starts 30 minutes later, and I'm working out again with like older guys, and they're teaching me. Now I'm learning more stuff where I'm redoing the same moves I was doing that morning now with older guys, and I'm running through it again. I'm doing the drills for another hour or so. And that's like life. That's all I do. Like all I'm doing is martial arts all day, every day. And then when I have time, I'm messing around doing dumb stuff. But it's just like the fighting to me is just kind of like this thing where whatever you do, you want to be the best at it, right? Go 100%. Why would you half-ass something? Why would you do that to yourself? When you like something, why would you half-ass it and never know your actual potential in it?
I agree with that.
That's dumb. Then you're gonna just be old and be like, well, I thought I'd be really good at this, or I would have been really good if, you know what I mean? And there's actually a thing, Musashi, the swordsman, I was talking to you about it yesterday. Musashi is a legendary swordsman. He actually wrote a book that's amazing. He talks about whatever you do, you take your mind, body, and your spirit, and you level those on their own. You want to be spiritually aware of yourself as a person. You want to be mentally sharp. So whether you're playing chess or you're doing math problems all day or whatever it is, keep yourself thinking. Playing Smash Bros all the time and being at that competitive level. Whatever, I don't care. Be mentally sharp. Physically, keep yourself in check. Because your body is your vessel. Your body is what keeps you on this world. The minute your body gets destroyed, that's it. You don't live in this existence anymore. You understand? And that's a big deal. So you sharpen all three of those things, and whatever you do, you put those on top of that, and you become better at it. So like if you could be a basketball player and be dumb. You'd be dumb and play basketball because you're just tall, and you could be not spiritually aware of anything. Like you could just be like a guy. What is that? You're a guy. You just play basketball because, and you're getting by with it. Like, oh man, he's so good. He's still dunking, whatever. Now imagine if that same guy went and he started sharpening his mind, like constantly. What ends up happening when he hits the court? I can see things. I understand these plays now. Like I understand more and more of what's going on and how to counteract people. I can tell you how to break down each man on this court and why he's gonna pass over here because that's his left side. He's doing this and he's driving on his right more often than not. You become better at basketball because you sharpened yourself. Now physically you start hitting the gym more and you're doing this and you're doing jump squats and you're doing everything that it takes to actually better your body. You go back to the court and now you're dunking harder than Blake Griffin all of a sudden and your stats are shooting through the roof. And I mean that's it. Spiritual awareness is just like a thing where you understand your human body and how other people work. All this comes into play whenever you apply all three of those things, the mind, body, and spirit. When you apply those to something, you become better at doing it. You make yourself a better person so you can do things better. That's as simple as it goes. Like martial arts, like I take all three of those things and I work on them constantly. I try. I know I say some dumb things, but I try. And I take that and put it in the cage. And when you go in that cage with somebody, or whether it's the ring or whatever, it's you against that man. There's no anything else. There's no teammate. You can't blame your teammates. It's just like you against me. Like all my training, all things I've thought of, all things I've been working on against you. And we see right now who's better, who's come further. And that is like something that just appeals to me massively. I dig it. I can't get past that.
I like that. And like honestly, that's what's up right there. You know, I'm hoping to do that for myself. You know, like that's one reason I fight also, so that way I can like get my physical side up too. You know, like I fight to like get better at fighting, but also I want my whole body, like my whole self, to be better. You know, people trust a guy that is sharp like that can have that sort of self-confidence, and you know that does have that skill to actually fight, huh? And you know it shows. So, like, and that's something like I also fight for. I can back up whatever I say. You know, it's not like, hey guys, you shouldn't do that. You know, I'm just like a sort of scrawny dude, right? It's like, hey guys, you shouldn't do that, and they're like, oh, sorry.
There's just something different about it.
Exactly.
People respect that, and I mean it's been through history. I was talking to Godswill about Musashi yesterday, the swordsman, and he was a swordsman who was one of the best in the world. He never died from a duel. He had a lot of duels. Never died. He actually died of stomach cancer later. He was way older. He lived a long life. He liked painting and sculpting things. Wow. So he wasn't just a swordsman. And he made that everyone was making fun of him, like, oh, you're a faggot. You're a swordsman. You should put that down. But he was like transcending that. He's like, you know what? I do what I want to do. I'm gonna just sharpen everything around me. And that's why he became the best. Muhammad Ali, Bruce Lee, the same way. None of those guys are stupid. They're both physically like amazing, and they're both very intelligent. Regardless of how you feel about Muhammad, like the things he said, he was very smart, and everyone around him tells about that.
Yeah, no, I mean honestly, that's the point. Like that's how it was. I guess could you go into detail about like the fight that Musashi had against the best swordsman at the time?
Oh my god!
Yeah, that was a good story.
Sakuya, I think was his name. I can't remember his name. The best swordsman at the time. Musashi had a lot of battles. But there's actually a big life-size sculpture of him versus I want to say Saki. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong, guys. But they were fighting, and basically here's the concept. Musashi, he was very, like what we were talking about, he's very intelligent. He always worked on his mind. He always worked on other things, other outlets, being creative. He always wanted to sharpen himself, not just his swordplay. Well, first, here's the thing. Musashi trained himself to carry a very heavy sword. So his sword is already heavier than most people, like most swordsmen. But he also sculpted bokken, which is like a wooden sword. So he made those, like, you know, ones that you practice with. Well, he called out this guy who was the best swordsman at the time, who was also the king's guard. Like, he was the one that instructed all of them how to fight. So he was a big deal. He called this guy out, and he's like, meet me here at the beach this time, real early in the morning. The guy's like, all right, why would you want to do that early? Whatever, sure, I'll do it. So here's what Musashi does. Musashi gets this fisherman. He's like, hey man, can you take me to that beach over there? And he's like, yeah, sure, whatever. So he has a sword. He has his sword, his actual sword, and he picks this big piece of like wood with him, a big log. And he starts sharpening out a bokken. The whole trip over there, he's sharpening out his own new bokken, like, for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. Because, okay, the guy that he's about to fight is known for being like one of the best long swordsmen in the world. Like, he had a really long sword, and he knew how to use it very well. It wasn't just like for show. Like, this wasn't a joke. He would murder people, like, left and right. He could just do it. So he was like, okay. So he starts sharpening out this bokken. By the time he lands on shore, he has a sword he made out of wood. It's a little bit longer than the guy's sword that he heard about. So he made a sword that's longer. Just for this one battle, he made a sword out of wood that was longer than that guy's sword. And that sounds dumb. Like, you're like, what? Well, who would do that? That's stupid. Mm-hmm. But his intelligence doesn't stop there. When he gets onto the beach, he feels the sand in his feet. And you know how, like, when you're at the beach, there's a point where the water is there and, like, it kind of impedes your walking. Mm-hmm. But when you get a little bit further off, the sand gets a little bit drier and you're good. Yeah. Well, he gets off the beach. And first, let me note that he shows up late. So this other swordsman is mad. Like, that's disrespectful. And then he sees that Musashi doesn't even have his actual sword with him. He's carrying a wooden sword off the boat. That's mad disrespectful. To me, like, you're doing that to me? Mm-hmm. So he's mad. So Musashi already got in his head. Musashi showed up late on purpose. That's the thing. Like, he knew all this was going to trigger him. So now what he does is he stands on the beach. He gets right to the point on the beach where the sand isn't slushing around him, so where he can walk freely. But he doesn't want to walk any further. Now, remember how I told you that he set up the fight in the morning? So the sunrise is coming up behind him. So if you ever know about the sunrise, and the sunrise is in your eyes, it's really hard to see. Sasha's coming off the beach. The sunrise is directly behind him. The guy is seeing only sun. It's kind of pissing him off. Like, you know, everything is just annoying. So as a fighter, the first thing you want to do is get out of the sun way. Mm-hmm. Like, let me stand horizontally with Musashi. Let me get to his other side so we can, like, fight evenly. So the first thing he does, he starts running sideways. And you'll see this a lot in anime, where the two swordsmen start running beside each other. He starts running to the side of Musashi. Musashi literally mirrors him. It runs beside him while the sun's behind him. He just mirrors him. And this is pissing the guy off. He's already mad that you're doing all this other stuff to him. Like, you showed up late. You showed up with this wooden sword. So he finally just strikes. And he's amazing. He's a crazy sword. He feels like he just strikes at Musashi. Musashi overhands him with his sword and hits him in the head with a wooden bokken and kills him. Clonk on the head that just murders him. And all that together. Because Musashi, like, spiritually, he's an understanding of himself. And he understands that, like, if you can frustrate someone spiritually, yeah, you can demoralize somebody. Okay. He understood that, like, showing up late and all this stuff, because everyone back then was so into culture and tradition, and you show up this time and you do this. It really enraged him. So he tested your spirit, and you failed. You got mad. There's actually a general in China, I believe, who actually said that. He said, the best fighter is the one that doesn't get mad. That holds true to the UFC now. When you
like
lose
Sun
it,
Tzu or something like that.
Yeah. When you lose it, when you get mad in the cage, or when you get mad at anything, you get real tense. Your punches get a little bit slower. You might get a little bit of adrenaline boost for power, but everything else drops. You started making dumb decisions, everything. And Musashi was just like, he sharpened himself everywhere. He knew how people worked, and he knew all these things in place. And he lived that day. And I remember when he killed that guy. The king's guards, like I said, like the guy he killed actually trained all those guys. So the king and all of them were back there on the horses, and they saw him die, and they all got enraged, and they ran after Musashi yelling. And he literally jumped back on the boat. Yeah, but he lived. He lived a long life. He beat everybody. I mean, that man just.
Honestly, that's something I want. You know, like I want to get myself to that level where it's like I'm so aware of myself. I can control. You know, like I can control the fights. I can control my opponents. You know, like I'm in control. You know, like I'm the one who's managing this, not you. Yeah. I'm like that's why I like that story a lot. I'm really glad you said that story. Yeah. So this was a really good episode. I mean, it was more serious than what we usually do, but like But I did like it. I like talking about things like this. Hope you guys like talking about things like this. Let us know what you enjoyed from the show. You know, leave some comments, follow us, subscribe to us. We want to hear from you. Maybe we can see a topic we can talk about. Maybe we can even talk with you, you know, if you have some sort of specialty. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the show. Stay dope.